Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Leave a Legacy Forex YouTube channel. My name is Jason Tirado, Forex educator. Quick disclaimer, I am not here to give you any financial advice or by any means able to ensure your financial gains in the Forex market. I'm just a educator and teacher and able to show you different skill sets to help you be a better trader. With that being said, today's topic is going to be how to trade with the head and shoulder pattern. This is one of my favorite strategies. It took me a while to really understand how to really train my eye and look at how these patterns can really make you a profitable trader. And I will say this, if you continue to practice this strategy, okay, once you see it, you cannot unsee it. I guarantee you. Once you train your eye to see head and shoulder patterns, you cannot unsee it. You're gonna say, "Oh, here's a head and shoulder pattern coming right now." Is it a possibility that is going to happen and go your way? Yes. Again, forex trading is not 100% profits every time you get in a trade. You're still going to lose. Okay. But this is a great way to get yourself to train the head and shoulder pattern and know which way the market could potentially go. All right. So head and shoulder pattern is actually the most recognized pattern, and it is the #1 reversal pattern in the market. Okay, head and shoulder patterns is actually a reversal pattern formation that very experienced traders see. All right, it is formed by a peak, which is just called the shoulder, followed by a higher peak, which is the head, and then followed by another lower peak, which is called the other shoulder, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Okay, and a neckline is drawn by connecting the lowest points. So with that being said, this is the #1 reversal pattern in the market. There are other reversal patterns out there, double top, triple top formations that could show that the market is reversing. Okay, there's also strategies called teacup strategies that I will cover later on. But this is the most recognized pattern, which usually indicates that the market has finished or has exhausted that trend and now is reversing the other way. Okay. So there are different types of head and shoulder patterns. Okay, there's only 2 of them. Okay, the first one is a regular head and shoulder pattern. And when this is spotted, when you spot a regular head and shoulder pattern on the chart, you'll be looking for positions to sell. Okay, so on the top picture here, need to change this to a R, but this is a regular head and shoulder pattern. Okay, when the market is going on an uptrend and then it gets exhausted from that uptrend and then comes back down, a possible reversal is happening. So you would sell on this head and shoulder pattern. The second type is the inverted head and shoulder pattern. When this is spotted, you will be buying the market. So on the bottom here, it's just flipped upside down. You will see the head and shoulder pattern upside down, which will cause you to look for buying opportunities. Okay. So how to find a head and shoulder pattern? To find a head and shoulder pattern, the first thing you need to do is find your trend. Once you find your trend, you wait for a pullback. Once you identify the pullback, which will be right here, you would draw a line. Okay. Then the market will go and create a higher high, just like so. It will break that previous high. Then it will pull back to create your neckline, which will be right there. The market will come back up almost to equal level of the first pattern, which was the left shoulder, and that's where you will sell the market. Okay. So in order to break this down further, I have created steps to help you identify Head and Shoulders. So step number one is we find a trend. Okay. We find the trend, and I will show you this in the charts as well. Second is we wait for a pullback. Okay, once you find a trend, you look for the pullback. The third is that we draw a horizontal line at the top of the peak, which that peak, that first trend and pullback, we draw that line there, that is going to be your entry point, and I will explain when to enter. Step number 4 is that we wait the market to break through the horizontal line that we drew on step 3, okay? And then we draw a line at the bottom, pullback. This would be your neckline, which is also your take profit. And then wait for the market to come back and touch your neckline, which is 100% confirmation that your head is formed. Okay. Step number 7 would be to enter your pending order, entry, stop loss, and take profit. And then step number 8 would be to have a great day, because you don't want to sit and look at the market all day long, look at your trade, because you will, if you are in a drawback, mentally you're going to say, I'm losing money, and you're going to close the trade out. You don't want to do that. Let the trade play out. Sometimes the market will go on a drawback and then will go in your favor. And if you continue to pull out because you're losing money, you technically haven't lost the money until the trade is closed. So be patient and let the trade play out. So if you look at the chart that I have here, the first step would be to find a trend. So here is our trend. The trend was going up at this point, right? We wait for the pullback. The market pulled back, okay? Went up and then pulled back. It went down. Step number 3, we draw a horizontal line at the top. There's our line, that blue line right there. That is going to be our entry point. That's not when we enter. We don't enter at that point right now. We enter later on. So step number 4, we wait for the market to pull back up and break through our horizontal line. Step number 5, we draw another horizontal line at the bottom, which is our neckline. Step number 6, we need the market to come back and touch that neckline. That is confirmation that our head and shoulder pattern is setting up. At that step, that's when we go ahead and start entering our trade. So our pending order, which will be a sell limit. Right, step number 7, after we did that, the market will come up, hit our entry point, take us down to profits and close us out. Okay, so this is a lot, but again, I'm going to show you in the chart so that you can actually see how everything just comes together, and you'll be able to identify head and shoulder patterns with much practice. So let's swing over to the charts. Okay, right here I have GBP USD. As far as time frames, you can spot head and shoulder patterns on the 15, the 1 hour, the 4 hour, the 8 hour. I can spot it on the daily. I took a nice trade on the daily time frame here with GBP USD. Okay, all right, and I'll even show you that move right now. So on this one here, this trade that I took, this was a while ago, back in September, when the move happened for me, and I held it for a long time, for about a few weeks or so. But here was the trend. It was on a downtrend. Okay, so it came all the way down, and I waited for the pullback. There was the pullback right there. So here, let's do it like this. This would be step number 1, right? Find the trend. This was the trend. Yes, did the market pull back here and then come back up? Yes, but remember, we're finding a trend. Here was the trend. The market came down, pulled up. Here was the trend, right? Overall trend. Then it pulled back up, right? So step number 2, right? We'll color code this. I'll make this yellow. Step number 2 was the pullback, right? Step number 2 was the pullback. Look at your notes that you wrote down. You should always take notes. Step number 3 was to draw a horizontal line at the peak. Here's the peak, okay? I'm doing an inverted head and shoulder pattern, okay, which looks like this, right? Right, so I'm looking for a buying position, okay? That's the pattern I'm looking for, right? And you're gonna see it right now. Step number 3, okay? I'll do this, right? Draw a line, right, at the peak. Oh, this is the peak right here, right? Then we wait, right? Step number 4, then we wait for the market to do what? Break through that step number 3, right? So as the market came down, okay, it came down to that peak right there, okay? Now you can put it here, it doesn't matter, as long as you show, okay, as long as you show that this is your head. This could be your head, all right? But I'm just gonna put it here. I'm gonna line it up with this point, all right? Just so you guys can see the formation. The head and shoulders is not going to be pretty, guys. It's not going to always look perfect, right? It's not gonna look like this. You have to actually train your eye to see it, right? So let me show you how I looked at this, okay? We'll color that green, and that'll be step number 4, right? Step number 4, right? Step number 5 was to do what? We draw another line at the other peak right here. That'll be our neckline, okay? So this will be step number 5. And we'll go over this again, okay? Just move this up so you guys can know where we're at. Step 2, this will be step 3, 4. Then step number 6, I said, was the most important part. Step number 6 is where we have the market come back, and we needed to touch number 5, the neckline. We need step number 6 to touch our neckline, okay? Which it did, right? Once we get that, we received confirmation, okay? That is called confirmation. Once we got that confirmation, now we put in our trade, okay? So step number 7 is here, okay? Step number 7 would be here as well, okay? We'll color this red. Right, we got confirmation here. Step number 7 would be here, okay? Because once you got the confirmation, you can go ahead and put your order in, right? So step number 7, we will put our order in. Well, where will you enter the trade? You enter the trade at step number 3. Here's your price that you're going to enter. You're going to enter for a buy. You're going to put a buy limit. You're going to only be using a buy limit or sell limit using head and shoulders. You want the market to come to you. So here's your price right here, okay? Where's your take profit? Your take profit is your neckline, depending on what time frame you trade in. Now, this is the daily time frame, so this one really gave me almost 452 pips. So I will usually secure at least 100 pips if I'm trading at a higher time frame. But this would be your take profit, right? Oops. This will be your take profit, your neckline. That's the goal you're shooting for. That lets you know that it's a nice full reversal. And then your stop loss could be at a previous, I usually say the stop loss is here, but that's a really big risk to reward. So I will put it at the next level here, on the next support and resistance level, or you can measure your entry point to your take profit, which that's 446 pips, and then just go down the opposite. 446 pips, about right there, right? Nice one-to-one ratio, okay? Risk to reward, right? Risk to reward, all right? So once you enter your entry, right? Your entry is over here. This is your left shoulder, right? That's your left shoulder, okay? This is your left shoulder. This is your head, right? You guys see all that? Now, what are we waiting for? Remember, we buy or sell the right shoulder, okay? So as the market came back, it triggered our entry point right here, right? Because we would already have our order waiting. We want the market to come to us. And then the market went ahead and gave us our take profit right there. Okay, that's on the daily time frame. Okay, again, you can go from the 15-minute all the way up to the daily to find head and shoulder patterns. Okay, there's another one here too. See, once you train your eye to see head and shoulder patterns, you can, I see probably 5 more head and shoulder patterns just in here on this time frame that I could have taken and traded, right? Taken and traded. Here's another one right here. Left shoulder, head, 100%, boom, right shoulder. See that other buying opportunity? Here, that's an inverted one. Here's another one. Left shoulder, okay, all the way up here, right? The market went all the way down, all the way down. Actually, that's not the one I'm looking at. You do have multiples here, right? Multiple opportunities. And I'll show you how you can, on a downtrend or uptrend, how you can enter every single one of these left shoulders, because these are all left shoulders. These are all left shoulders, okay? So this was the head and shoulder move. Left shoulder, pull the back. This is the head, 100% confirmation. This is right shoulder, buy the market. Okay, buy the market. All right, let's go ahead and remove all of that. Now let's go down to 4-hour time frame. We'll go down to a 4-hour time frame. Okay. Now, here is one. Remember, head and shoulders is not always pretty, like I said. But here is an excellent opportunity that I've taken with my team. Here's the left shoulder, pull back, head, 100% confirmation. Look at the right shoulder way over here. Now, some of you might say, well, I have to wait that long for head and shoulder patterns. Yes, sometimes you do. If you have the setup, sometimes you do wait for that. But why miss this opportunity to collect almost 160 pips? And while you're waiting for this move to happen, you can be in other trading opportunities, right? You can be in other trading opportunities. Here is a trend, pullback. Oops. Trend, pullback, step 2, head, pullback, confirmation here, left shoulder right here, right shoulder. Take it up. There was your move right there. Take profit. Right? While you're waiting for this to happen, you had an opportunity there on the 4-hour time frame. Okay? Look at this. Trend, pullback, up, 100%. Right shoulder, take it down. That is called the uptrend head and shoulder pattern. Okay? That is a different way to trade. And you can trade an uptrend head and shoulder pattern. Okay? Here is, let me go to the 1-hour time frame. Again, this is all practice, 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 practice. Okay? You have your trend. Of course, you have multiple pullbacks. Trend, pullback, head, 100% right shoulder. Okay? So this was a nice trend, pullback, head, confirmation, enter your trade, buy the market. Here was your win right here. How quickly it came up. Okay, so that is inverted head and shoulder patterns. Okay, inverted head and shoulder patterns. All right, now here's your regular 100%. There's your trade right there for a regular head and shoulder pattern. Follow the steps. Okay, follow the steps. Step 1, 2, draw your line. Draw your line. Market breaks above. Draw your other line, which would be your neckline. Market came back, gave you 100% confirmation. Enter your trade. Enter your trade. Okay. Again, there's different ways to spot head and shoulder patterns. Okay. Different ways to spot head and shoulder patterns. Okay. Drawback, but again, I usually have my stop loss on the head. Here's another. That's 2 trades right there. Here's another. Left shoulder, pullback. That will be my head. 100% right shoulder. All those trades sitting there. That's not including the possible reversal, the inverted ones. Okay, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Right. So with enough practice, okay, you can see a bunch of them on the 15-minute time frame. I tend not to trade at those levels. I usually stay between the 1, the 4, and maybe the daily, but usually I trade on the 1 hour. Okay, because you can see more opportunities there. This will be a nice move here if it hasn't happened already, which it didn't. This move right here, downtrend, pullback. Oh, that's not the pullback I want. Downtrend, pullback. Here's your head. We got 100%. Now we're just waiting. We're waiting for the right shoulder. We're waiting. So if this market comes down, I can have a nice buying opportunity sitting right here. Okay, right there at that entry point. So guys, this is how you identify head and shoulder patterns. Refer back to these steps, okay, to help you find head and shoulder patterns. All right, and then you can be able to get in these trades. All right. So if you have any questions, comments, you can reach me. I'll leave a link where you can reach me, and I'll be able to help you with identifying head and shoulder patterns, or maybe conduct a one-on-one session. So this is a good way to, like I said, identify trend reversals, get into those trades where you can actually profit good profits, hold a trade longer than just collecting 10, 20 pips and getting out. You could potentially collect 50 to possibly 100 pips on some of these moves. But again, it all comes down to practice. So I recommend practicing and looking out for these patterns. Again, my name is Jason Tirado, and thank you for your time today.